The cafe was quiet that afternoon, the kind of quiet that made you notice the small things, the soft clinking of ceramic mugs, the gentle hum of a distant jazz melody, and the way sunlight poured through the window like melted gold. Clara Evans, a freelance writer in her early 40s, sat in her usual corner booth, sipping her second cappuccino and watching people pass by. It was her escape, this little cafe on 7th Avenue, tucked between a bookstore and an old record shop. She came here not just for the coffee, but for the stories, the people, their faces, their expressions, their silence. That day, a boy sat 3 tables ahead. No more than 16 or 17, he looked far too thin for his oversized hoodie and jeans, and his sneakers had holes where toes peeked out. He stared at his cup of hot chocolate like it held answers to unasked questions. Clara noticed him scribbling something on the back of his crumpled receipt before placing it carefully under the empty cup. Then he got up, glanced around, and quietly walked out. Clara wouldn't have noticed the note if the barista hadn't accidentally knocked over the cup while clearing the table. The receipt fluttered to the floor and landed near Clara's boot. Curiosity tugged at her. She picked it up. In crooked, shaky handwriting, the words made her chest tighten. "Meet me before I die. Table by the window. 4 p.m. Every day. L." Her fingers trembled as she reread it, her heart thudding like a warning bell. Was it a joke? A cry for help? Or perhaps something deeper, something too fragile to say out loud? For the next 2 days, Clara came to the cafe at exactly 4 p.m. But the boy never showed up. Each day she waited, watching, hoping. She even asked the barista, but no one knew his name, just that he had come in for the past few weeks, always alone, always quiet. On the 3rd day, just as Clara was about to give up, the bell above the cafe door jingled. The boy walked in, shoulders hunched, eyes downcast. Clara's breath caught in her throat. She stood, unsure of what to say, then sat again, waiting. At 4 p.m. sharp, he took his seat by the window and pulled out another receipt. He wrote something on it and placed it under his cup again. This time, Clara walked over. Her voice shook. "Hi. I saw your note the other day. Are you okay?" The boy looked up, startled. For a moment, his eyes were wide with fear, then confusion, then something softer, relief. He nodded slowly. "I wasn't sure anyone would ever read it," he whispered. "Can I sit?" Clara asked. He nodded again. She slid into the seat across from him. "My name's Clara." "I'm Liam," he said, voice barely audible. "I didn't mean to scare anyone. I just didn't know what else to do." Clara waited. She didn't push, didn't ask more. She let the silence be his space. After a few moments, Liam spoke again. "I have leukemia. Stage 4. No one to talk to. No parents. I've been in and out of foster homes. And now I'm just trying to feel like I existed somewhere. That someone would remember me." Clara's eyes filled with tears, but she blinked them back. "Liam, I'll remember you." For weeks after that day, Clara met Liam at the cafe every afternoon at 4. They talked about everything, music, books, dreams, regrets. He told her how he used to want to be a filmmaker. How he would sneak into movies and sit until the end credits just to see the names scroll by, imagining his there one day. Clara listened, laughed, sometimes cried, and sometimes just sat in silence beside him. One day, Liam brought a notebook. "I started writing again," he said. "Stories. Maybe you can help me finish them?" Clara nodded, her voice choked with emotion. "Of course." They spent hours going over pages, raw, beautiful, heartbreaking stories from a boy who had seen too much pain for his age. Stories about hope, love, betrayal, survival. Liam's mind was a treasure trove of stories the world needed to hear. But as the weeks passed, his body began to fail him. The spark in his eyes dimmed, the pain in his voice grew. One day, he didn't show up. Clara waited, heart heavy, hands clutched around her lukewarm coffee. The next day, he wasn't there either. On the third day, the cafe owner handed Clara an envelope. "He asked me to give this to you," the man said softly. With shaking fingers, Clara opened it. "Dear Clara. If you're reading this, I'm probably gone. But please don't be sad. You gave me more love and kindness in these few weeks than I've felt my whole life. You made me believe my stories mattered. That I mattered. Please finish the stories. Share them. For me. So that maybe, somewhere out there, another Liam will feel less alone. Thank you for meeting me. Love. Liam." Clara clutched the letter to her chest and wept. In the months that followed, Clara poured herself into Liam's stories. She edited, added, polished, but never changed his voice. She published a collection under the title, Meet Me Before I Die. The book became an instant bestseller, not because it was marketed well, but because it was real, raw truth wrapped in fiction. People from around the world reached out. Messages flooded Clara's inbox from teens battling depression, parents who had lost children, and strangers who said the book saved their lives. The royalties went to a foundation Clara started in Liam's name, the Liam Project, supporting terminally ill teens with artistic dreams. Each month, one young person would get a chance to tell their story, just like Liam did. 1 year later, on the anniversary of their first meeting, Clara returned to the cafe. She sat at their table by the window, placed a copy of the book on the table, and slid a new receipt under her coffee cup. It read, "I met him before he died. And I'll keep meeting others. Before they're forgotten." A young girl from the next table noticed the book. She hesitated, then asked, "Did you write that?" Clara smiled. "No. A boy named Liam did. I just helped him share it." The girl picked up the book and began to read. Clara watched as her eyes widened, her fingers tracing the cover gently. And just like that, Liam lived again, in hearts, in pages, in moments of quiet kindness. Because sometimes, the smallest act, like reading a note on a receipt, can change someone's world forever.